Welcome back to Charlottesville Insights. This is Jeff Gaffney, your host. We have Pat Jensen with us on the program today. She's the managing broker at the Real Estate 329 North office. And Pat, when I drive around town this time of year and I start to see some of the dogwoods coming out, and of course we have daffodils everywhere, I do really feel like we're blessed to live in one of the most beautiful places in the universe. What do you think?
Absolutely. I'm wondering what's going to happen with the March winds, the April showers, and the May flowers. It looks like they've all condensed themselves into the 1 month of February and the beginning of March. We're lucky.
When we have buyers visiting Charlottesville this time of year, particularly from the Northeast, it really sets the stage well.
Yes, it's beautiful.
They tend to really fall in love. From the next 90 days is just a terrific time in Charlottesville. So part of the story of 2012 is that February in the Charlottesville and Albemarle area, as we look at those together, the market in terms of contracts written was up 40% February of 2012 over February of 2011. Does it feel like that kind of uptick to you right now?
Yes, in our office we had more like 55% increase, and it is a palatable feeling. The realtors are coming in sort of looking around like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And they're starting to feel like they used to, where they were busy, that they had appointments with buyers and they had listing appointments with sellers, and we actually seeing things go on the market and be sold in a reasonable period of time. And, overall there is a general feeling of very excited increase.
We're going to get to another one of your questions, but before we do that, I also want to talk the other part of the story for 2012 is that inventory has really taken a plunge. In fact, nationally, the inventory, they're saying that the inventory in terms of homes for sale on the market is at a 5-year low. And when we look at the inventory in the Charlottesville region, it seems to be way down compared to last year at this time, and way down compared to 2 years ago. How do you explain that?
I think that we are finally getting sellers to price things where they need to be, and they're getting sold. There's also a shift in the market. The house I mentioned in town, I had done a qualified housing analysis for them last June in 11, and at that time, houses in the city priced between $325 and $375. There was a 14-month inventory, which means that if no new houses come on, it would take 14 months to sell out the inventory on the market based on the past 3 to 6 months sales. When I redid that quantitative housing program for them in the end of January, there was a 4-month supply. And that's the house that we put on the market and had a full price offer the second day. During that period of time, houses came off the market and people got discouraged, and other houses had sold, so it reduced the inventory just in that little pocket. So you have to look at, it's hard to make a general statement because there are different pockets of price point and location that in some areas it's still really strong buyer's market with many, many months of inventory. But in other areas, if you're looking carefully and if you have a good buyer, a good agent helping you with your listing, you can price your house in that right little niche that's going to move quicker.
May I ask you a true or false question?
Uh-huh.
Most of the market, true or false, today, right now, is under $400,000.
Wow. I think that's a tough one for true or false because we have a pretty high inventory over 400,000. We're getting a lot of cash offers in the 700 to $1.5 million category. But the majority of the volume, first-time home buyers and what people are looking at probably is under. Sorry, it's not a yes or no.
But I like your answer, though. I mean, it gives hope because we get hit all the time with the question, is anything moving over $1 million? And you are seeing activity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. We're here with Pat Jensen, managing broker of Real Estate 3 at the 29 North office. We're going to get to another one of your questions. Love this question. Thank you to Lori in Forest Lakes for writing in. What is an escalation clause, and when would I use it?
An escalations clause is something that is a rule we haven't seen much of in the real estate industry for a few years. An escalation clause is used as a buyer when you're putting an offer on a house that you know or think you're going to be in competition to get, and you want it bad enough that you're willing to outbid your competition. So an escalation clause may say, well, we're offering this much on the house, but we agree to pay $100 more than any other offer that comes in up to a certain price.
Can you believe that we're talking about escalation clauses?
No, we had to go dust them off the shelf and see exactly how to word them. It'd been a while since we used them.
But it really does speak to the importance of being able to navigate your way through this real estate market. It's tough out there, and if you find a property, as you said, some properties are coming out and selling very quickly, and if you're a buyer who is looking for a home in a certain area and there's not much inventory there, you better ask your realtor about the escalation clause or you may miss out.
And you should know that there are downsides to the escalation clause.
True.
Some sellers don't want to deal with one because their thought is if they were going to pay more, they should have offered it up front. But it is something that has, in quite a number of occasions, helped somebody win that negotiation point to be the person to buy the house. So get your advice from a good realtor.
We had a property that was listed for $275,000, and that's what the analysis came on, that it should come on at that number. And there ended up having 10 offers on that property, and the contract that won it was $100,000 over the asking price. Now, I don't want our listeners to think that that's happening on every deal.
I'd say that's very rare, and then you have to deal with an appraisal.
Yes, but this one was a cash deal, so the appraisal was out. And,
okay.
So it's interesting, though, to hear those stories today.
That's right.
That they are out there.
That's right. Rare.
Okay, next question that we have, Michael in Crozet asks, what are the best buys on the market today for a first-time home buyer?
Well, condos are great opportunities, but we have issues with financing. They are some of the nicer conditioned properties, and some of the condo associations have areas where you can get a home. A lot of people are going to Lake Monticello. There, you can get a lot of house for the money there. Up in Greene County, just over the line, that can also happen. There's just more opportunities right now for first-time home buyers than we've seen, but the trick is finding the right price and the right condition. So for first-time home buyers, sometimes to get, say, the square footage you want, you might have to buy a house that needs some tender loving care.
Pat, you know that I'm very fond of new construction, and part of it is when you buy new, it comes with a warranty, and since, as you know, I can't change a light bulb, it's nice to move into a brand new home. If something breaks, the builder comes back and fixes it. So my best buys on the market, there's lots of good buys out there, and consult your realtor, okay? But my best buys, I love those Avinity townhomes off of Avon Street that Piedmont Realty and Construction is building.
Right.
I think that's great. I love a home in Belvedere. If you can find a new home in Belvedere it might have to be a townhome.
Mm-hmm.
In Crozet, there are some amazing buys from Old Trail to, I was over at Wickham Pond. Amazing opportunities over there. And then I also think that the pavilions at Pantops, there's a couple of different products to choose from there with the Martha Jefferson Hospital and the access to 64. Again, if you're thinking new, those are kind of the first ones that pop up on my list. Let's get to another question here. This is going to be complicated. Bill in North Garden writes in, can you do a short sale on investment property. So I'm assuming he's thinking about selling an investment property. Can he do a short sale?
I do not think it meets the qualifications. A short sale is an opportunity for a homeowner. He would need to talk to a mortgage lender to find out what his options are.
Well, and I've found that the only thing I'm sure you would agree is that the rules change by lender. So,
That's right.
Bill, I would say check with your lender. But Pat, thank you so much for joining us on Charlottesville Insights, and we'll see you next week. Happy